The pardoner confesses that with these tricks he has made a great deal of money, preying on the ignorant, proud to have no scruples, and caring nothing for their stupidity or their souls. When they are dead, for all I think thereon, their souls may well blackberrying have gone. He seems proud to admit that he's a crook and defends his way of earning a crust. For vulgar people all love stories old, such things they can retell and well can hold. What, think you that because I'm good at preaching and win me gold and silver by my teaching, I'll live of my free will in poverty? No, that's never been my policy, for I will preach and beg in sundry lands. I will not work and labour with my hands. He cares not that the poorest widow in the village may give her last pennies to him, even though her children perish in famine. Nay, I will drink good liquor of the vine and have a pretty wench in every town. Having gone to great lengths to reveal himself as nothing but a crook, out for all he can get, he begins his tale by railing with passion upon the 7 deadly sins. He lists and details them and their evils: gambling, swearing, lechery, gluttony, drunkenness, swearing, and lying. It would be easier, really, to read his ranting to you than to paraphrase it, but to suffice to say that he really does know how to turn it on. Each of the 7 deadly sins is told in the context of an example that illustrates its evils. Although we know that it's all talk, we too are caught up in his zeal and captured by the drama with which he plays it all out. With his audience aware of, yet captivated by his trickery, he then begins the tale that you have already heard of the 3 rioters whose quest it is to find death. The story is rich in symbolism. The old man's identity is never specified. Is he death? Is he the devil? Or is he just a very wise old man? He directs the rioters down a path he describes as crooked, leading inevitably to a bad end. As an aside, I was interested to read that this exact story appears in one of the Harry Potter books. Its appeal clearly pervades all ages and generations. The children's version does not make mention of the fact that once the tale is told, the pardoner forgets his earlier confessions and offers to absolve the sins of his listeners, lest they fall prey to the vices outlined in his story and prologue, at a price, of course. An argument breaks out, for the pilgrims are not so silly as he thinks, and the host makes peace before requesting the next tale. Every time I lose myself in the tale of the pardoner, I forget that he and his story are entirely a creation of the masterful Chaucer. In the tales that Chaucer recorded, he presents many different characters, some at least more virtuous than the rogue I have spoken of today. There is a knight who is honourable, and a parson who is a diligent cleric who aids parishioners with his own funds. But most of the others are presented with more than a touch of irony, with Chaucer taking no shame in revealing members of the church who are not as holy as they seem. We have a fat, luxury-loving monk who rejects work of any kind, a friar who is an accomplished beggar for his own gain, a summoner, which is a cleric of some sort, lecherous and permits parishioners' licentious behaviour, like the pardoner, for a price, a prioress who, though charitable and merciful, is more concerned with worldly goods than with the spirit. Outside the church rolls, we encounter a collection of other people of the time. A merchant who talks honestly while practising illegal money lending, a doctor who is a learned parishioner with a love for gold, the vivid, gap-toothed wife of Bath, who has enjoyed many pilgrimages and 5 marriages, the Borny and Bawdy Miller, as well as a few others who, it must be said, are at least a little more virtuous and unassuming than these. One thing these fictional characters have in common, however, is that they are masterful tellers of wonderful tales. As I read about and compiled this list of pilgrims, I could not help but smile. How little has human nature and its foibles changed in 700 years. And so to the topic I hurriedly created when committing myself to this service some months ago. Was Chaucer a medieval sceptic? Of his personal beliefs, I know little, but it fascinates me that Chaucer is able to step outside his social milieu and paint such affectionate pictures of these characters to whom he treats us, revealing the flaws and the foibles, the strengths and the weaknesses, the lies and the truths that make human life and experience what it is, has been, and always will be. His portrayal of the pardoner in particular surely suggests something of his view of the naivety of choosing to believe everything one hears, and of being too blindly led by a fear of the deity. Surely, I feel, there was just a little of the broad-thinking, pragmatic, and slightly sceptical Unitarian in Chaucer. The closing words are by Sir Walter Raleigh. Give me my scallop shell of quiet, my staff of faith to walk upon, my scrip of joy, immortal diet, my bottle of salvation, my gown of glory, hope's true gauge, and thus I'll take my pilgrimage.